welcome to Variants episode number 12 of
Brutal Battle. And you heard that right. Rebecca's actually on for one of these episodes.
Yeah.
Usually the variants are just me because they're usually larger format and Rebecca wants a little bit of a break from me.
No.
But no, we've usually just been doing it where I just do one at a time and then kind of cobble it together. But these are in 12-ounce 16-ounce cans. And they're not crazy high in ABV, and we have some free time when we're doing this, so I was able to convince Rebecca to do it.
Yeah, and this looks like a good lineup.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Like with a lot of our variants episodes, it is beers from the Bruery, because that's what we tend to have the most variants from. Outside of that, like the fact that I'm actually in a society for them makes it very easy for me to obtain these variants. With other breweries, it becomes a lot harder. So that's why we end up having so many of these, but it is what it is. I'm interested in this. Now, this is their bakery lineup of beers. They have two other ones that I'm aware of. And actually both of those, I believe, have been on the podcast at some point. So if you also want to look up what my thoughts were on those, you can do that. I think one of them was coconut macaroon, and the other one was banana bread. So if you can't tell, their bakery line is all beers inspired by bakery items. So we have 3 in front of us for this episode. 2 of them are pie-related, and one of them is, a sugary breakfast item, which I think is the one you're most excited for. So let's just go ahead and hop into them. Like I said, 16-ounce cans for all of these. And they're actually all 10.2%. Every single one of them. So that's out of the way. The first one we're going to be doing is Cherry Pie Bakery. Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels with cherries, cinnamon, and natural vanilla flavor added.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it does.
And this is the one you're least excited about.
Least excited about, because I'm pretty sure we've had this before already.
You don't like cherry. I like cherry.
Yeah, I'm not a big cherry person. Although, there have been plenty of times where I actually like cherry flavor in my beers if they're incorporated in a certain way. So, here we go.
It looks like an Imperial Stout.
Is there a there's a date code on this. So, this one is basically 2 years in the can. So, there will be varying ages to these. All right. Looks like an Imperial Stout. There's a decent amount of head hanging out on top. It's very dark head to it. Very deep brown. Medium, large, small bubbles. All.
I'm definitely getting the cherry. I'm definitely getting the cinnamon.
Yeah. The cinnamon is pretty strong in my opinion.
But you get that cherry.
You definitely do get the cherry. You also get a chocolatiness from the actual stout.
It smells really good.
It does smell good. I think the thing I smell the most is the cinnamon.
Yeah.
Especially because that's a spice that just is, if it's in something, it's very recognizable. It's usually relatively strong.
The cherry, I think I'm only getting as cherry because I know it's cherry. If I didn't know it was cherry, I might just say it's like a dark fruit.
There's vanilla in this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I smell that. Because it really is giving this kind of like, it's like a chocolate cherry pie a la mode. Because you have like that, I was going to say piece of, but no, scoop of vanilla ice cream on the side.
Yeah. I'm excited.
It does smell good. It does smell quite good. And I don't really perceive much of any booziness on the nose either. Ooh, that cinnamon's strong.
See, you are sensitive to cinnamon.
Strong.
I like that level. I don't think it's too much.
It's very fruity though.
Yeah, it's good. I like this a lot actually.
Yeah. It is very cherry. It is primarily cinnamon and cherry in my opinion. I get some of the chocolate to it and I get some of the vanilla, but those are very much like on a secondary level to that cherry and cinnamon. The cherry and cinnamon is strong. I'm actually surprised that cherry flavor is as strong as it is though.
Especially 2 years in the can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not huge on it. Like, I understand for what it is, it's pretty good. It does remind me of cherry pie.
Yeah.
For sure. It doesn't remind me as much of, like, cherry pie a la mode as the smell does. because that vanilla is so low level in comparison when you're drinking it versus smelling it. But, I mean, for what they were going for, I think they did it.
I'm definitely getting some wood characteristics, too, in the taste.
Yeah. I'm not really seeing much influence from the bourbon barrel other than that, though.
No.
So that's kind of interesting. I think just the cinnamon and the cherry have a tendency to just kind of get rid of actual bourbon flavor. But that wood is there. And as we've been finding out recently, barrel-aged beers over time tend to have the wood start to show up more and more in the flavor as it gets older.
Okay. Moving on.
This is your biggest
I'm
excitement.
excited about this one.
Okay.
This one's the Sticky Bun. Bourbon barrel-aged imperial stout with pecans, maple syrup, cinnamon, and maple and natural vanilla flavors.
I mean, it sounds good, but I'm also...
The cinnamon.
Yeah, well, cinnamon, but also maple.
Yeah.
Not huge on maple either, so we'll see how this one goes.
I love those flavors. As long as they're, like, in check. Sometimes they can be...
Right.
If it's too much, I don't like it.
Yeah, I hear you. Like, maple running away with it.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Although Kyle Norman, he's big into maple, so...
But subtle maple I like.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with subtle maple.
Looks like the last one.
Yeah, it does. Actually, the head looks creamier.
Yeah, I would say so.
What's the big difference there? Oh, I think maybe like the proteins from the pecans could be having an influence on that.
This smells like a sticky bun.
Oh, wow.
I'm getting the cinnamon. I'm getting the pecan.
It does smell really good, actually. It does smell like exactly like a sticky bun.
It's not like over the top, though. It smells like it's...
And I get the pecan.
Yeah, I definitely get the pecan. I always feel like that's hard to achieve, too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been one of our biggest issues when we typically have beers that have any sort of nut in them. Like, you can get that kind of, like, meaty, proteiny quality in the flavor and the mouthfeel, but the actual flavor of that nut coming through is kind of hard to get. So they really did nail it with the pecans in this.
At least in the nose. We'll see how it tastes.
There is a decent amount of maple in this.
You're getting I feel like pecan is the primary smell for me. It's like definitely pecan, a little maple, a little cinnamon.
So for me, I think it's
a little vanilla.
Maple.
You're getting the maple more?
I feel like the maple's the strongest for me. Kind of mixing with the cinnamon, though. So I like the fact that they're kind of downplaying each other a little bit. Especially the maple, like downplaying the cinnamon. Because cinnamon... I have a bigger problem with cinnamon being out of check than I do maple.
Right.
But, I mean, the pecan's pretty strong, too, though. Bourbon barrel. Are you getting it?
No.
I get a woodiness, though. There is a woodiness for sure there. It's fine. If people don't know, Rebecca was just pointing to the fact that our cat's about to jump in a box and be very noisy because there's paper in it. But you all know, having listened to this podcast however long you have, that she's got to make some sort of noise, typically. So you'll hear her kind of settling in, potentially. But just know that that's what it is. We're not rustling through things.
She's just rustling the paper.
But yeah, I'm very impressed with how much it does smell like a sticky
so good.
bun. I see your excitement, by the way. I see how excited you are for this. Okay, go in for it.
Don't let me down.
Ooh. Yeah.
That's nice.
The mouth feels a little lighter, a little thinner than I thought it would be.
I don't dislike that, though. I usually am like, not really digging thin mouthfeels. Yeah. But it's not, like, offensively thin.
No.
And the flavors are...
they're good.
They're good, and they're not too intense. Like, not too much maple, not too much cinnamon. It's there. Like, you perceive it, but it's not too strong. It's not too sweet either.
You know what this is reminding me of?
What?
The Bruery's Vermont Sticky Maple.
Oh.
It kind of tastes like a riff on that beer, which we are big fans. Both of us are big fans of their Vermont Sticky Maple, which is just a bourbon barrel-aged imperial stout with maple. So this tastes a lot like that, just with the pecans and the cinnamon added, really.
Yeah.
But it, less viscous on the mouthfeel. Yeah, I think that lower viscosity makes it more sessionable.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
I agree with that.
It is good. And you're really getting that kind of like meaty proteininess from the pecans in the mouthfeel.
You like it.
It's like you're eating pecans to a degree.
Tasty.
Are you getting much of the barrel?
No.
I feel like I get a slight bourboniness coming through. It's definitely more perceptible than it was in the cherry pie, but it's not strong for me. And I'm getting the wood.
I like it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely happy with that one. Definitely happy. I really like that. And I remember that when we had done the coconut macaroon, one of their bakery ones, that the coconut was not super perceptible. Yeah. So the fact that they're bringing out flavors like, the cherry quite well in the first one and the pecans quite well in this one is good. Okay, so the last one is the one I'm most excited for.
Another pie.
Yes, and the other pie. And that's why we did the tasting order the way we did, because I want to break the pies up. So this is their boysenberry pie. Bourbon barrel-aged imperial stout with boysenberries, cinnamon, and natural vanilla flavor.
So it's the same as the cherry pie, only boysenberry instead of cherry.
Which you can see why I'm more excited for it, because I'm not a big fan of cherry. I do like boysenberries quite a bit. Let's do it.
Okay. Guess what it looks like.
The other two?
Yeah.
Exactly like the other two?
I feel like the head isn't as pillowy as the sticky bun.
The interesting thing is that the bubbles are a lot smaller on it. Actually, no, it looks creamier. When you swirl that up, it is way creamier than either of the other two heads. That's interesting. Okay, the smell? Jeez. Boysenberry much?
Yeah, it's very berry.
Actually, I like that. That's exciting to me. Ooh,
that's kind of all I'm getting.
I get the cinnamon and vanilla.
Yeah.
But they're way lower than that boysenberry.
You get that fruit right off the...
we thought
hits you in the face.
Yeah, we thought the cherry was strong in the cherry pie one, and it is. This is insanely strong.
Yeah.
Like, that's way stronger than the level of cherry in the cherry pie.
Gotta smell my arm.
And here's the interesting thing. Like, sometimes, especially in beers, boysenberry to me has a bit of, like, a floral note to it. And that's in this. Like, don't you get a bit of a floral note with the fruit from the boysenberry? I kind of like that.
Boysenberry is kind of like, what is a boysenberry?
It's kind of blackberry-ish.
Right.
I think it has more flavor than blackberries, in my opinion. It's less earthy. I don't think
I think I've had like boysenberry like flavored type things, but I've never eaten a boysenberry.
I perceive like no barrel. But when I sniff deeper, I'm getting like a slight caramelly note coming through.
I can see that.
I'm excited. This smells good. This smells quite good. Ooh.
That's good.
Ooh. So the boysenberry's strong, but it's not out of kilter as I assumed based off the nose.
Yeah. I like it. This is probably my least favorite, though.
Really? Mm-hmm. You're getting that very strong boysenberry flavor. It's nice and fruity. It's got that floral note in the flavor that I was saying. I like that. I think that's good. I could see where to some people that would come off maybe a little too perfumey.
Yeah.
But I like it.
I don't like the flavors with the stout. I feel like they're not marrying up.
I get some of the vanilla. The cinnamon's kind of getting lost.
It is.
Not really getting the cinnamon. Getting some of the vanilla, thankfully, and getting some kind of chocolate on the finish. Also getting the wood. Like in the other two, I'm actually getting the wood in the flavor. Other than that, not really a whole lot of this bourbon.
No.
It's just the boysenberry is
and none of these
dominating.
I have perceived the alcohol.
Yeah, good point. I agree with that.
They've all been pretty easy. What's your lineup gonna be? You have to retaste something?
No. I actually think that I agree with you.
You agree with me?
when I step back and I consider what I have a predilection to not like versus what I do like, step back from that and kind of consider, like, for what they're trying to do here, how are they executed? I'm in agreement.
shocked.
I agree with you, but I like them all.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. I'll have to see after drinking the sticky bun and the cherry pie. I'll see how much room I have left for the boysenberry. So our lineup, if you can't tell, is number 3 is the boysenberry pie, which is the bourbon barrel-aged imperial stout with boysenberries, cinnamon, and natural vanilla flavor. Mm-hmm. Our number 2 is the cherry pie, which is the imperial stout aged in bourbon barrels with cherries, cinnamon, and natural vanilla flavors. And our number 1 is the sticky bun, which is the bourbon barrel-aged imperial stout with pecans, maple syrup, cinnamon, maple, and natural vanilla flavors.
So I am interested to see if they do more of these bakery beers in the future.
Yeah.
They've kind of come out just like a bit here and there. I think they've typically done like one a year-ish. And like I said, the only ones they've ever had were these 3 plus the coconut macaroon and the banana bread, which the banana bread was just kind of like, that's a weird thing to do with a beer, to be honest. So that was kind of But are there any things off the top of your head that you feel like you would like them to riff off of, bakery-wise?
That's a good question.
I mean, peach pie for me.
That would be that would be like American Anthem-ish.
Oh, yeah. But Imperial Stout, because American Anthem's basically an Imperial Brown.
What about an apple pie?
Apple pie could be good. I think I really would love for them to do a peach pie, though. That would be awesome. Trying to think if there's any other like confections that would be super cool.
I mean, I keep thinking donuts, but they did all those donut beers.
Which, by the way, if people wanted to know, they took one of those donut beers, and if you want to check it out, you can go to BrutalBattle.com or look at it on the podcatcher, look for the podcast episode, or go to archive.org and search Brutal Battle. We did an entire breakdown. Oh, sorry, I hit the table. We did an entire breakdown of the 4 different donut beers that they had in their donut-inspired beer box that they put out, and those were really good. They took one of them, and they're redoing it for this year, for 2022, and they're doing a barrel-aged version of the Abuelitas. I think it's like double barrel-aged Abuelitas, which was the one done with Danny Trejo's Coffee and Donuts. So that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Very amazing, but... I'm very happy with this lineup.
Yeah.
It's quite good. And I look forward to more of their bakery stuff, hopefully. But
do we look at the dates on the other ones?
Oh, no, we didn't. Yeah, the cherry pie. That's the one we already said.
2 years old.
The cherry pie is 2 years in the can. The sticky bun is 1 year in the can.
And the boysenberry pie
might be about the same.
Yeah, about 1 year in the can.
Okay, about 1 year. Okay, there you go. So, yeah. All right, well, this has been fun. Everyone help us out. Spread the word about the podcast if you can. And you can. Rate us and review us through whatever podcatcher you're using. If you want to do the social media.
Yeah, Brutal Battle Podcast on Instagram.
And we're doing Untapped.
Rebecca C.
Carlin Cook. Carlton Malibu is probably the easiest way to find me. All one word, Carlton Malibu. Carlin Cook, Carlin C. You can do it any of those ways. Also, if you want to reach out to us, you have ideas for episodes, beers you want us to try, or just want to say hi or get recommendations on stuff, brutalbattlepodcast@gmail.com. Like I said, I gave you all the stuff on back episodes where you can get all that stuff. But yeah, thanks everyone for listening to these, and until next time,
keep it brutal.